Hello and welcome to the 16th part of our Dominion 6 guides for new players. In this part we're finalising our war preparations and we're getting ready to engage Operation Banana Takers against Bandar Log. So first things first, we need to start mobilising all of our priest-smiths here. We can see that we've got quite a lot of them ready. We can all start sending them up to the Forest of Gila. You may also be able to notice that some of them only have map move of 12. That's because this guy, he's old age. That's a problem. He's only going to be able to move one province a turn, so what he can do is he can help us by moving some of this infantry around. Given the fact as well that some of them are going to be slow moving, we're going to tell some of these guys, probably these three guys, just move as many troops as they can, and this will cut down on the amount of commanders we need to send to all. It'll take a little bit longer to get there, except for this guy who's got all the cavalry. At least he'll be able to get there a little bit faster. And that should mean that within Ulm itself, we can get rid of this commander of Ulm. We don't need to recruit him. We'll just send the rest of the units that we're creating up with the other priest-smiths that we're making. And that should ease our logistical issues slightly. As it stands for the rest of the map, we are currently recruiting one more Woodhenge Druid, and we'll make sure that we're also getting a bunch of infantry of Ulm. We might start getting some sappers here as well, but again, this is a low population province, so we'll struggle a little bit on recruitment points. We do have a Astral Mastersmith who's popped out. That guy's fantastic. What we're going to do is we're going to start searching for sites. We might as well. Other than that, we're going to make sure that we are giving out quills to all of our researchers. We'll also give one to Rathari. Rathari's just going to sit here and research. He can't get back anywhere, so he might as well be useful. And that's all of our quills handed out for this round. So as things stand, we have a lot of money. Obviously, we're building this fortress and land pristine. We've got Pippin here. He's built a laboratory. Let's make sure he's also building a temple. We're going to have the guys here. So we're going to get Lothar himself. He is going to claim Throne of Ascension. So he's going to claim the Throne of Night for us before his inevitable demise. He's also picked up another affliction, Battle Fright, which is -5 morale. Not ideal, but you know, could be worse. We'll patrol with these guys for now. Unless I can think they can take on... They can probably take Erebon here, actually. If we take away some of these troops from our prophet and we give them to Frithegern, he can hold 2 squads. And actually, Zemi can hold those squads as well. So we'll give him the crossbowman. He's not as good a commander as our prophet, but that's absolutely fine. We'll give the cavalry to Filgrin. So now Lothar is without troops, so he's claiming the throne. These guys here can probably head on to Erebon, where they'll be able to take that out. Potentially as well, we can actually just split them both up, so we're taking 2 provinces in one go. You can see here that we have a bunch of the Atlanteans, a bunch of crossbowmen. They should be able to deal with militia and light archers and light infantry. And this province here with a bunch of heavy infantry and archers, the cavalry should be able to deal with pretty well. We can recruit lizard warriors here, just because they don't have much protection. I don't think we'll bother for that for now, but we will get our scout to start building a palisades here. So that will mean that we will have another fort coming up on the Throne of Night. We should also get a bunch of province defense here because we want to make sure we're holding this throne. And all of a sudden, our mass amount of gold is going down ever so slightly. Only slightly, though. I'm going to get Audrey here to build a castle here in Elkland just to make sure that we can hold this province pretty well. We'll get our Sneck to search for this site. I really want to get rid of this Death 4 as best I can. We'll see how well we can do. Adolf will help a little bit with that. He's holy level 2, so he's a better preacher than our other black priest, so that'll help. We've got our Mastersmith there. We're recruiting more Mastersmiths out of Elkland, and we'll make sure we're getting a bunch more sappers. In the Forest of Gila, we have a bunch more resources just now, so we'll get some more infantry of Ulm. And with that, let's start cycling through some of our commanders. So we have our Mastersmith here. He's scouted. He found nothing. We've got this guy here, so we'll get him to search. Our scout here, we're going to tell to hide and wait. Similarly with this guy here. So the hotkey to get somebody to hide and wait is if you press Shift and W, they will hide and wait in the province they're in. A little bit easier than opening up the menu as we have. We'll not get him to hide and wait, seeing as he's currently in our territory. Let's get this guy further in. We'll get our other scout over there. We'll make sure that we just got guys hiding and waiting all across Bandar Log. We have our nature mage who's down in the underdepths here, so he was going to search these cave forests to see what he can find. Cave forests are kind of like forests in that they have a chance of more magical sites. Our palisade here will be finished in 2 months. We have one of our Wizards of the Earth who's just busy researching at the moment. We'll get him a hammer before too long. We've got our large force coming into the Endless Caverns here. We have enough random troops and cavalry that we should probably take the day. I'm not too worried about that. As far as our nature mages go, we're going to send them both over to Hamain. One will site search, one will keep moving on towards the Forest of Gila. We have our commander over here. He can still construct a castle, so we'll build a castle here, and all of a sudden all of our income is just gone. That's good. That means that we're actually using the gold that we want to be using. We're going to grab Zenio. He'll move over to Eklund with a bunch more crossbowmen. And we are, of course, producing a bunch more crossbowmen here in the Land of Pristine. We'll actually maybe grab them with Shan, and Shan will start moving his way towards Rotmarsh, just so we can start reinforcing some of these armies here. As for Tarbal, we'll grab those archers. We'll move back to the Land of Pristine to grab more men there. We'll get our scout to start moving forward. And we actually have Tarbar as well. He'll set all those archers to go to Shan, just so Shan can take them for us. And we'll make sure that he's heading down to the Shadowglade to pick up the rest of the crossbowmen that we're recruiting next turn. We'll get the scout to hide and wait. We'll get our spy to hide and wait. This guy's currently sitting in Abyssia itself. There could be patrolling here. So what we'll do is we'll move further into the Cavern Realm. And with that, that's us completely done with our actions. Great. One thing we might do as well is with Henrik, because he is currently sitting on a border province, if he's spotted, he can actually retreat back to the Silverwoods and he'll be safe. Same with Scipio. Actually, Scipio's moving forward to Bandar Log. What we'll do is we'll tell Augustus to retreat. We'll set him right at the back lines. The reason I'm not bothering with the guys who are deep within enemy lines is if they retreat, they're going to die anyway. So there's not really any point telling them to retreat. They have a chance to maybe kill one or two guys with their bow. It's a very small chance, but you know, if you can take a chance, why not take it? Okay, so once we've taken the Endless Cavern, the chambers underneath, we can use this gateway to get us back up and ready to fight Bandar Log with those forces there. So that'll be our second wave of troops, most likely. As far as the troops that we currently have here, we have a decent number. We can actually get Earthsnack to lead a decent number of troops, even though we don't really want him going into the enemy dominion as much as possible. As long as we're using him more as a buffer rather than a fighter, then I think we'll be fine. So we've done all of our actions, we've done all of our recruitment. Let's have a little quick look at our research. So you can see here our research speed has gone down massively. That's because we are moving all of our priestsmiths that we've been building in our capital for so long. These are a lot of priestsmiths. What we're going to do is we're actually going to increase to evocation level 6 as soon as we can. That will mean we get access to Iron Blizzard and we will effectively have our own crossbow volleys with our priestsmiths. So with that, I think we're ready to go into the next turn. There's nothing really I want to forge, is there? I mean, there kind of is. I think what we'll do is we'll set to monthly forging and we'll start producing these bracers of protection here. We don't have a hammer, so this is actually going to cost us 3 earth gems to cast, which is a master smith, but these are very useful items. They give you 2 extra armor on both your head and your body, as well as giving the wearer 2 additional defense. That's always very useful. So we might as well do that. And then I think that's all of our actions here, so with that we're quite happy. We'll go around, we'll make sure that we have everything defended up quite nicely, at least the provinces that are going to make us money, like Nicaea, for example. Roygar doesn't have any defense either. We'll get a little bit there, just to see if we can get rid of some of this unrest. And that should be us good to go. So with that, let's end the turn. Okay, so we've claimed the Throne of Night. That's fantastic. We've searched for a bunch of magical sites, but there was a battle in Erebon. Let's have a quick look. So this is our force being led by Z-Me. A bunch of archers and our meteorite guard. We'll see how they do. It is a fairly smaller force, but these Atlanteans should be able to deal with these militia fairly easily. Yep, there we go, in the light infantry as well. And then it's just a case of mopping up these archers, which they've already started to rout. So there we are. Perfect. We did take some losses there. We lost a bunch of our crossbowmen. The fact that we took 2 provinces in a single turn will outweigh the losses that we made there. There was a battle in the Copper Canyon where Bandar Log has actually won now. This is where they have their Tiger Riders, so we can finally see their Bless. So long as they're going to cast Blessing. There we go. Yeah. So their Bless is currently +1 morale, +1 strength. I wonder if their god isn't awake yet. Now, the reason I'm wondering that is that seems like a very light bless for how bad their scales seem to be. So I'm wondering if they have a bunch of incarnate blesses, which will only affect their units when their pretender god is in the world. We can see here as well, these are their Tiger Riders. So the Tiger Riders are actually fairly scary sacreds in that they are somewhat similar to our Cavalry of Ulm, except they've got less protection. but they do also have a tiger, which bites and claws. And that can do some serious damage. 16 protection is nothing to sniff at either. Effectively what it is our troops are slightly better than them, in that we have a lance and we have our mace, but they do have a falchion. They do significant damage, and they are blessable. So we'll have to keep an eye on them when their god eventually awakens, if it is not awake already. I can't see why they would go for such bad scales and no bless. But either way, so there was also a battle in Phoenicia. So this is our cavalry, as well as some of our other troops. We maybe should have left our infantry of Ulm or some of these undisciplined guys with the other commander, but ah well. So the cavalry are coming in, you can see that they are absolutely decimating all of those archers, and they catch the commanders, kill them, and the army is routed. Excellent. How many losses did we take? We lost a whole bunch of Bear Tribe warriors. It's their job to die. Don't really care about that. The big battle here is in the Endless Caverns. Let's have a little look here. This is our underground army with our fairly sizable amount of infantry of Ulm. We can see our undisciplined troops are actually getting caught on our line, so we might need to keep that in mind for when we're spreading things out in the future. Bunch of magma bolts being sent out, flashing into these cavemen, and with that they have routed. Excellent. That was a pretty good battle. We lost 10 Bakemono and 6 hunters. We did lose 1 Black Knight as well, and 3 infantries of Ulm. But we currently have enough troops that those are acceptable losses, especially for Throne Province. We finished our citadel in Felden Forest. Unexpected event in Monaboa, we lost 10 province income, but we did gain 560 gold from Cybermark, so you really cannot complain. Sadly, again, no more magical sites, but we'll take what we can get. Okay, and with that, construction in Felden Forest is done, so we'll move Adelaide over towards the Forest of Gila. We can see here, this means we now have 3 commander points, so we can start getting 2 Master Smiths per turn now. We're going to come away from the Woodhenge Druids. I think we've got enough of them. And we will get more infantry of Ulm. Part of me is wondering if we maybe start recruiting these guys, the Macemen. So these guys are interesting in that their flails have 2 attacks, and they get +2 attack versus a shield. They don't do as much damage as our Battle Axe guys do. These guys also do slashing, which does extra damage after the protection has been calculated. But they do get 2 attacks, you get more attack density per square, and they are better against shields in that they have an attack skill of 13. Which could be quite useful actually for getting rid of the darkness penalty. So tell you what, we're going to reset recruitment and we're going to start getting a bunch of these flail guys here. I do quite like the flail guys, they are very useful. But it kind of really depends on who you're going up against. Against independents, it doesn't matter too much, and I prefer the bigger damage in case you're going up against things like cavalry. For our 2 nature mages here, we're making 6 nature gems a turn. Let's just start making some of these boots of long strides. What this will do is it'll increase our commander's map move by 6, give them swiftness 100. The swiftness 100 didn't matter much, but it's that map move of 6 plus 6 that'll be really helpful. We'll get them both to start forging that. It's a little bit wasteful in terms of gems, but it'll mean that our priestsmiths, for example, can start moving quite a bit faster. So let's continue moving up towards Elkland. You can see the majority of our forces are already moving up towards there. Let's give out some more of our quills. Everybody's researching. Oh, and Thorismond. We've been very lucky there, so we've managed to get an Earth 3 Master Smith just off the bat, so he can immediately start making some hammers. We're going to make more hammers with him, and that should help us quite a lot. We can see that the death scales have gone down a little bit. That's got a chance of happening every turn. Given that we have growth 2 as our base dominion, we kind of hope that would go down quite quickly. We don't want our guys getting diseased, especially when it's sitting there at death 4. And as well, we're using this province as our staging ground to go and fight. As it comes to the Ursnek here, what we'll do is we'll actually move him into Strongdale. We might as well. And we'll get him to cast Personal Iron Skin, which is better than Personal Stone Skin. It does make it so that he takes more shock damage, but that shouldn't matter much, but it does also give him +5 natural protection. And given that Ursnek already has 23 natural protection, casting that brings him up to 28, that's pretty insane. What we're going to do as well, just to really push him out the boat, is we're going to give him these bracers of protection. What I'll do is I'll give him an extra defense skill of 2, but also boost his protection by 2 on all of his body parts, his head and his body. Which are actually, if we look at our protection stat here, it's our only 2 parts of his body that he has. So now, with Iron Skin, he's going to be at protection level 29. Which, unless you have something like a giant or something with a really hard-hitting attack, they're not getting through that protection. He should be absolutely fine. So we'll get him to just go into Strongdale now that we have our Dominion there. We'll clear that out. We'll probably try and send him over to either the Silver Woods or White Peaks as well, just to try and spare our Dominion. Remember that when it comes to your Pretender, your Dominion spreads directly off of them. So that can be very, very helpful. Okay, so let's go through our commanders again. We've got Pippin here, so he's built his laboratory, he's built his temple. We haven't searched here. We'll do a quick search. We've got our spy who's just come out. We'll start sending him over to the west. Tarbal, you can grab the rest of these crossbowmen and start moving west as well. And from here we can start recruiting more of our Master Smiths. Fortunately in this province it seems to be mostly recruitment point locked rather than resources, so the Master Smiths will be there mostly just to help with research. Having a look over here, we'll give our Quill over to Hilderic in the Moss Woods. Moss Woods is going to really be our researcher capital for just now. What we're going to do is, so we don't miss it, when this is built into a castle, we'll add on another Priestsmith as well. So we've got our guys forging boots of swiftness, or sorry, boots of long stride. Swiftness is a different magical item. We'll get one of our druids to search Hamain, the other one will keep moving forward. With our guys here, this guy can't hold many more troops, so what we'll do is instead is we'll grab a bunch of other guys, hold on to them for us. They'll start slowly making their way towards Eklund, and that's absolutely fine. This commander here will grab more of these crossbowmen, he'll start moving forward. We searched here, we didn't find anything, that's a shame. But we'll keep on moving forward. As for Thursmond, we'll also search Droigar as well. And we can see now that we've actually managed to make our way towards Bandar Log territory. So the choices we have is either take this province here, which given our not great amount of troops, they are only Deer Tribe though, so we'll keep moving. And we'll get Frithagern to... that's a lot of Solus. We don't have that many actual troops here. Lothar's managed to take that province. Decisions. Lothar's not really long for this world. You can see he's down to 17 hit points now. That's just going to keep getting lower and lower as time goes on, which is a shame. That's just what happens when you're diseased. So instead, let's double check the recruitment. We can recruit a bunch of archers here, but we don't have many resources. Same with this province. We're going to keep moving down. We'll take Rind. There's a chance that Frithagern can, but he cannot. Tell you what, we're going to take off all of his infantry. He still can't quite make it. No, he can't make it. That's a shame. And we cannot make it to the Gobstop Mountains. Okay, he's going to collect back up his infantry here. And we're going to get him to go back to Rotmarsh. We'll use our other commanders that are coming in with more forces to reinforce. In fact, while Lothar's just sitting here, he can construct a temple here. We're going to want to hold this province just purely because it's a throne. We'll get our scouts, continue hiding and waiting. We didn't find any sites here. We'll go check Mudwater Caves. We'll get our scout here to wait. As for our large troop, we are getting some troglodytes. Not too much of a fan about that. What we'll do is we'll tell Adelaide to actually move up to the surface and we'll start moving forward. Troglodytes are quite scary, especially in Dominion 6. I've had a lot of encounters with them down in the caverns because they are trampling units, all of them, and they have quite high HP and decent amount of strength actually. They can deal with smaller things by purely trampling them with enough numbers, and things the same size as them. They can actually do pretty well with their claws if they don't have much protection, so you do have to be quite careful of them. As for our recruitment, we do have more infantry of Ulm that we can get, which we will. We've got our sappers here that we're still recruiting. And as far as our sappers go, we've got about 22 sappers, so yeah, 22 sappers. We'll keep recruiting sappers. We want to make sure that we can get through these forts quickly, preferably the one at Bithin. First of all, once we've done that, then we'll be able to take the walls fairly easily. And then as far as our other recruitment goes, there's not much going on. We're going to get this guy to pick up the rest of this heavy cavalry just to help out. Yep, Forest of Gilla is fine. We could potentially think about just recruiting another fort at Sodorth, which I might do given that we have the money. It's a little bit out of the way, but it means that we'll be able to use more of these resources. Otherwise, we do it at Silbermark, and given that the land of Pristine is actually not resource locked, we'll do that there instead. It means that, but then again, we are building one in Rotmarsh. Yeah, no, okay, Sodorth is, we're going to build one there. As much as I would like to build one at Silbermark just to get more income from the province, I think Sodorth should be fine. It's still got 15,000 people, which is really not that bad. And with that, we've done all of our actions and we've done all of our recruitment as far as we can. So we should be pretty good to go. Maybe we will just get a couple of these lizard warriors just to make sure that we're spending our gold. Barbarians could potentially be useful as well. They don't take much to recruit in terms of resources. And they're fairly cheap. They are undisciplined, but by God, do they hit hard. You've really got to be careful of them. The only problem is obviously they're undisciplined, so really got to watch out for that. Okay, so we're making our dwarven hammer. We don't have any more things here. No, we could just give Ursnek this handful of acorns, which I think we will. Just give them a couple of vine men just to help out in the combat. And with that, I think we are good to go. So let's go. Okay, so for this, we finished our construction. That's construction level 4 completed. We are going to get construction level 5 in 2 turns, which is fantastic. We've searched for a bunch of magical sites. We haven't found any, but see the fight in Strongdale. So we can see here that we've got these little vine men here. They're not great, but they're mindless, so they can't rout. And they basically will just sit there and just tank up for a little bit for us. So we'll have Ursnek cast all of his spells. And then once he's done that, he'll just charge in and he'll fear everybody away. Oh, someone did manage to actually do some damage to him. Where was that? Wolf Tribe Warrior, plus 27 on his roll. Wow, what a guy. What a guy. The Dominion's random number can do that to you sometimes, but it's very unlikely. You can see how many hits the Ursnek has taken, how little damage he actually is taking. He's getting hit by all of these javelins, all these short bows, nothing's happening to him. He's taking the occasional bit of damage, but he's absolutely fine. He'll eventually be able to just get these guys to rout. And when that happens, we will have won the battle. And there we are. They're starting to rout, he's fighting a bush, truly the most climactic battle of all time, and with that, fight is over. So very good for Ursnek, still expanding this late into the game. Usually this wouldn't happen in any kind of multiplayer game or with other people, but because we're against the AI, I feel confident enough to do that. We didn't redo our undisciplined troops, that's fine. Here we can see the troglodytes. They hurt so much. That you can see here, they're size 6, they're even larger than our cavalry, so they will just trample over our cavalrymen. But they do not have the best protection, they've only got protection 7, so once you start doing damage to them, see one of our Black Knights actually lost his mount. We've killed their lord, and with that they will be routed. I think that was quite a nasty battle. Yeah, we lost 2 Black Knights there. Oof. Not ideal. And that was a small number of troglodytes, so sometimes I've seen provinces with 40 troglodytes, at which point you might as well just give up until you have actual proper support. If we'd maybe thought about it a bit more, we could have earth melded them as well, stop them from trampling, but I just kind of went for it. And finally we have a battle in Rid. Let's have a little look. So this is a bunch of deer tribe. Well, hopefully our crossmen won't do too bad. Barbarian is coming forward. He's dead. Very good. Our Atlanteans have got pretty high protection, so they should be able to weather these short bows fairly effectively. And they'll just start killing the army here. There we are, they've routed. They've killed that tree. Good job, boys. So we will have lost quite a few crossbowmen there. 6 crossbowmen and 1 meteoric guard. Those meteoric guard have come in real handy. In the hole, we found some more gold, we found some more nature gems, we finished our palisade, we finished our fortress. A new famous hero's been found, Hildegard. Everything's all looking good. Okay, and with that, I think we will end this episode here, so thank you very much for watching. Next episode, we're going to be ready to pull the trigger on Bandar Log and start our first war. Until then, take care.